Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and this is News and Week in Review, where we're going to dive into a variety of news pieces. We actually have a decent amount this week. The videos of the week, the games we've covered this past week, all of that and more, and we do have a creator spotlight, an interesting one this week. Anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and start off as we usually do with the news. Links and timestamps to everything down below. But starting off with UKGe's Expo's preview is up on Board Game Geek. They do this for every convention, or each of the larger conventions, I should say, whenever they're whenever they are, what's the word for it? Exhibitors. I was going to say distributors, but exhibitors. So we currently have 115 games at the moment. That will likely only grow as, well, it's only just gone up right now, so it's got time to grow. We'll see what happens. There are a whole bunch. I'm already interested. In fact, some of these we'll be talking about very shortly. But basically, if you are interested in UKGe's, the Expo preview, go ahead and check this out. I'm actually going to be going this year. It's my first UK game, so I am very intrigued as to how it compares to the conventions I usually go to, because I usually go to like Origins, Gen Con, and PAX as far as the big exhibitor ones, but I haven't gone to UKGE or Essen. I'll be doing both this year. But anyways, from there we have Welcome to Crowdfunding Reinvented, Backerkit WeFunder. This is an interesting one. Backerkit is seeking investment in Backerkit, I assume, but they basically have over on WeFunder, they're kind of doing this open round of investing, so either if you're interested, you can go ahead and join that, or alternatively, this is just something to be aware of. They are seeking investors in Backerkit in WeFunder, which is like this platform where you can kind of invest. It's kind of like, it's ironic because it's crowdfunding itself. They are crowdfunding effectively, but that is basically what's going on with Backerkit. Then we have over on Board Game Wire, Gama picks Baltimore as the new home for the Gama Expo, which will be happening, I believe, in 2027. Like, I think 2026 they'll still be, it looks like 2026 and 2027 will still be in Kentucky, so 2 more years in Kentucky, and then 2028 moving forward will be in Baltimore as their next city, which I don't think I've ever been to. I've been to Baltimore. I don't think I've ever been to like the Expo Center in Baltimore. So Gama Trade Show, it's moving again, which, I mean, they happen. Every few years they go ahead and move, but we'll see what happens there. Then we have Stonemaier Games. They have an article, and how can we fix this together? Tariffs, manufacturing, and a solution. So this is an article from Stonemaier Games, kind of going into some of the things that have been brought up as complaints and kind of trying to address it in a collaborative sense, as far as the, hey, here's like my side or our side being like the publishers in the industry, and then here's some of the complaints from people who don't see that side, and let's try to have a slightly more productive conversation around it. I thought it was a very well done article. Definitely recommend checking it out if you are interested. Jamie Stegmaier often has a lot of great articles around the industry, and especially with everything going on nowadays, I find I am referencing his stuff a bit more often because honestly I find them a bit more interesting when they are this topically related. Speaking of tariffs, we have over on Gamers Nexus, they basically had a video called The Death of Affordable Computing. It's a 3-hour long video, but honestly I think if you watch the first half an hour you'll get a good general sense of it, but it's talking about the nature of tariffs and the effect they are having on the video game space, or computing in general. More computing than video game space, although definite overlap in those two things. Again, highly recommend checking it out. It's not just the board game industry that's affected by things, and this is showing you an insight into another side of the industry, or different industries, and it's incredibly well done, the video. Again, you don't need to watch the whole 3 hours. Honestly, you could. It's entertaining enough, but the first half hour will give you a ton of information. You can watch the first 10 minutes. I don't know if the first 10 minutes is enough to really, give it 15-20 minutes just to get a general sense. It's really, really well done. Then we have over here, I forgot to click on the specific link. We have tariffs and their impact on crowdfunding. Another tariff related thing over here, this time from Gamefound, talking specifically about the nature of how tariffs seem to have impacted, or more specifically, seem to have not yet impacted crowdfunding and their numbers. This is basically just a blog going over a kind of breakdown of this year and last year same time, comparing things to get a general sense of where the numbers are at, and does it look like anything's down. And so far, the short answer is, so far not yet. April is still a little early to fully tell. I think May is going to be a much bigger question, so to speak, as far as seeing what that impact looks like, but at least so far, there seems to be a minimal impact on actual backers and on crowdfunding in general. Then moving on from tariffs, we have something that's kind of negative, but not tariff-related at least. We have Alliance Entertainment is suing Diamond again. Basically, Diamond Comic Distributors went into bankruptcy, and Alliance Entertainment was engaging in a bid to acquire them, and they're basically suing them for the fact that the reason they're suing them is the whole thing's falling through, but they put down a lot of earnest money, effectively, that they don't get back just to start the process. And I believe the number was 8 million or something like that. It was a large number. It was an 8.5 million earnest money deposit. And effectively, they're saying that, hey, we walked away for a few reasons, but a big part of that reason is because your contract with Wizards of the Coast was expiring and you didn't tell us that. So we kind of walked into this expecting A's no longer there, and now we are out 8.5 million on something you could have told us and should have told us from the get-go. So it's kind of like, hey, thanks for the check, and by the way, here's this new information. That's the premise, at least. But you can check it out. It's fascinating, a little sad when this kind of stuff happens in general, but it's definitely a fascinating read, at least in my opinion. We have CMON. This feels like a negative week, and it's not even all about tariffs, just a bunch of negative stuff over here. We have CMON's 2024 losses even worse than predicted at over 3 million, almost double its profits in the last 3 years combined. So this is basically Board Game Wire going into, now that CMON has released some more financials, going into the numbers, and overall it doesn't look great, but definitely read the article for a full kind of view of everything. But that is basically a kind of more of an up-to-date on CMON's financials of where things are, at least as of right now. Then we have over here, we have those the CGE titles I was briefly showing on the first page. But we have Seti Space Agencies, an expansion to Seti already. We have Galaxy Trucker Do What is coming out as another expansion to Galaxy Trucker, which is, I think, the first expansion in a while. Although I guess technically it's the expansion to the newer version of Galaxy Trucker. So, but I am curious what they're adding. We have Wispwood, which looks very, looks cool. I like the art of it overall. And these are some new titles coming to you from CGE that you should keep your eyes peeled for. Then keep your eyes peeled for keep your eyes peeled. And from there we go into our creator of the week, which is a very interesting one, possibly controversial, but we shall see. And that is Dorado Games is our creator spotlight. And it's an interesting reason why, but I do think it's worth talking about. Dorado Games, who did Legend Academy, which I believe funded in 2021, it's currently 2025, and it is now finally delivering, which is part of the reason they are the Creator Spotlight of the Week, because it is finally delivering. Dorado Games, for all intents and purposes, has effectively shut down as a game publishing company. They had the Dorado series of games, then they had Legend Academy, they also had Age of Atlantis. I never played the first ones, I think they're a little lighter than what I'm personally interested in, but Age of Atlantis and Legend Academy, both fantastic games. And they unfortunately fell victim to everything going on with COVID, and they basically did a whole video. They did a video update around way back when. Definitely recommend checking it out. It's an 8-minute video kind of like outlining the general business, their profit margins, how much they make, the impact COVID has had, and kind of basically paints a very dire picture as to the future of the company. It's how COVID almost shut us down, but effectively, for all intents and purposes, it has shut them down. But the reason they are the Creator Spotlight at the moment is because 4 years later, they are delivering their game. A lot of people had no faith. I definitely had questioning faith. I tend to be an optimist. We've covered this before. I tend to assume that things probably are delivering if the company still seems to be putting out updates and still seems to be talking about it. I kind of assume people will walk away from updates if they realize they're no longer delivering. And in the case of Dorado, I definitely remained optimistic, but with that healthy dose of who knows what will happen. But I think it's worth shouting out to a creator who 4 years ago their campaign was, who went through COVID and everything, who could have dropped things off the face of the map because half their backers had already lost faith. They could have walked away and given up. They didn't have to follow through, and I don't know to what personal cost they followed through. Like, I have no idea if their own funds went into this, and given the nature of crowdfunding, I would not be surprised if they did. I also definitely think the amount of time and effort and energy they continue to invest in a campaign in which backers long gave up hope. Many backers long gave up hope, constantly saying there, you're saying soon, you're saying soon, but it's been 4 years now, and the game's not there. And they still delivered. And I don't think they're delivering with a company in their future. I could be wrong, but I don't imagine we're going to see an Dorado next game coming at any point soon. I think there's something notable about that. I think there's something special about a creator who does deliver on something this far into everything and doesn't walk away from their commitments and makes sure to power through. Don't get me wrong, some of you might sit there and say, well, you're just giving praise for somebody for following through on the thing that they're supposed to do. And the answer is yes. Yes, I am giving praise to someone who's following through on the things they're supposed to do. Sometimes in life, when life hands you enough lemons, it's easy enough to drop them all. Sure, you shouldn't drop them all. You should follow through, but it's not always easy to do so. And so kudos to all Dorado Games. Kudos to the people behind it for everything that they've done to get it to the point where they're able to bring you that game. They're able to deliver that game. And so, yeah, I think that's cool. That's why they're the Creator Spotlight of the Week. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move into the videos of the week. To that end, we had a few videos go up this past week. We had a bunch of videos, as we usually do, but we had, let's put this over here. We had a publisher sales video going up on Sunday. This is a video covering, well, publisher sales going on, doing, some of them Tariff inspired, some of them just coincidental, but just shouting out a bunch of various sales you can go ahead and check out. There's also a Where Are They Now that went up on Monday instead of our 2 back and not to back, but basically covering, you know, the Where Are They Now? The games we covered for a year ago and 5 years ago in April of 2024 and April of 2020. We also had upcoming crowdfunding campaigns for May. That video went up, I want to say, Wednesday, covering the campaigns you can expect to see in May, or at least some of them. As usual, subscribe to Shelf Clutter if you want to see more of them. We also had the weekly live on Thursday, a nice back and forth Q&A. They've been a little more popular the past few weeks, although I probably am overdue for diving into some other form of live content that is not just a Q&A, because I like to mix it up these days, and I think I've had 2 Q&As in a row, which is way too many. We also had 2 back and not to back going up on Friday. Yes, it went up on Friday instead of Monday. That's on me. Well, it's not on me. It's on the fact that I had a blackout on a power outage. I keep saying blackout, and I realize you can always hear it the wrong way. I had a power outage on Monday, which led me to not be able to do the video that day, and so instead I pushed it off till Friday. But the 2 back and not to back did go up, and we're back with another one this coming Monday, and that's basically the regular videos of the week. As far as the games they covered this past week, we had a bunch. We had over on Saturday, we had a preview for AVGhost. I have not played this one myself yet, but I will be doing so because the campaign launches soon, so I'll have coverage for you of a gameplay as well coming up shortly. We also had a 12x12 review of Revive. This is going over kind of Revive as a game, talking about all the ins and outs, the expansions, the modes, all the various things. This is one of those more in-depth review series I do where I try to cover a game from every possible angle and not just the, hey, I played this game a bunch of times, here's my opinions. It's more, I played this game a ton and in all ways, and here's my opinion of Revive. So if you want to see a more in-depth review there, please check that out. We had on Tuesday a review for Flamecraft Duels. Really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's lighter than that deserves per se, but it's so much fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I definitely recommend it. I think it's charming, simple, easy to play, and compelling, but also definitely on the lighter side, so know what you're getting yourself into. I had a review for Binho, which is the Binho board. It's like a little soccer pitch game. That went up later on Tuesday as well. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It's charming, it's addictive, but I do have better games that give that dexterity kind of feeling. And then there's a review for a Pact, a review for Pact from, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. For the people who made Beast, I'm blanking on the name, but Pact. I had a review for Pact go up. Overall, I loved the framework that Pact gave, but I didn't like the main scenario that I was given in the prototype. I didn't like the tiered system of winning. I had a few small complaints, but there were only like 2 complaints, but they were big complaints as far as how they impact the gameplay. Fortunately, I have since found out that there are indeed going to be other scenarios that build on the framework of Pact while giving you different scenarios that hopefully won't have the issues I had. So again, it was an interesting review. I definitely recommend checking it out. There was so much that I love about the structure, and then some core things that won't be present in every aspect of the game. So, but were present in every aspect of the prototype that I played. Always tricky covering prototypes, but a 3.5 to 5 with the hope that it goes higher once I play the other scenarios of the game. Then from there we had on Thursday we had a few things. We had a 6 small box games. We had Hissy Fit, scorecards, Love Letter, Biomes, Thrones of Valeria, and what's it called, Alhambra. Just 6 short reviews for those games. No major winners there. Alhambra is easily the best one of the group. I've had versions of Alhambra in my collection at different points in time, but overall it's a crowd pleaser. So is Thrones of Valeria for that matter. But the rest of them are kind of different shades of okay. Love Letter is pretty fun, I guess, but also outstays its welcome for me personally. I find it goes on too long for what I'm looking for. And then we also had an unboxing of Cyclades Legendary Edition. I hope to be playing it soon. I played the prototype, loved the prototype. I thought it was a great version of Cyclades, but I just had an unboxing if you want to check that out, and I hope to be playing the final game at some point later. But outside of that, those are the games we covered this past week, which brings us to today. Today we're going to have a few things going up. We'll have a review for Catan New Energies going up, as well as a review for Video Video Game Champion from Arcane Wonders. And then next week we should have a bunch of things. We should have the games leaving the collection video, as well as a gameplay for Leviathan Wilds, a gameplay and review, updated review, because I covered the prototype, but I've never given you my thoughts since then. But I'll have a gameplay and updated review for Leviathan Wilds going up this week. This week, not today. This week. Anyways, as far as the games on the table, as usual, these are games I hope to be diving into this week. We have the Battle of the Divas over here. Hope to be playing this as soon as possible because it looks fun. I like their stuff in general, and I'm intrigued by this one, so we'll see if I like it. We have Shackleton Base, which I've heard great things about in general. We have Tacta over here. Tacta, which looks intriguing. It's on the op. Looks fun, looks simple. I haven't read the rules yet, but I have opened it to read the rules. And then we have 3 Magi, which will be launching on crowdfunding very shortly, and I hope to be giving you my opinion on it as soon as I possibly can. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have an excellent weekend, and as always, I hope you have a good one.